Hello again, everyone. Hope you're well on this Friday afternoon. Heading into a weekend. There's a lot going on. I'm going to cover here. Prepare for a collapse. I'm not saying it's going to happen for sure, but I just have this weird feeling. I think we just need to be prepared for tough times. I'm serious, okay? I'll go into that. Stay with me. I have reasons, all right? The pucker factor has got to be high on some high-level, big-name Democrats, and maybe on the other side, too. I'll tell you why. Also, think for yourself. I'm going to go into that a little bit more. Also, I have a terrific passage I'm going to share with you that has always spoken to me, and the more I read it, the more it resonates with me, and I hope it will with you, so stay tuned for that also. First, some news items here. The cash is in. Kash Patel, you probably heard already, has been approved. The Senate voted to confirm him as the FBI director. The vote was 51 to 47, pretty tight, but not as tight as Hegseth's. But can you imagine? I'm so glad to see this, though. This guy just seems like the real deal. He just seems to me like he's genuine and he really wants to do well. You know, he just strikes me as genuine. Kash Patel. I'm so glad he got through. The pucker factor for some of these folks, man, I tell you what, it's got to be pretty high. But there's another reason it might be even higher. The other person I'm going to tell you here in a minute they might be even more afraid of that one than Kash Patel. But Kash Patel said that he wants to let, his goals here is to let good cops be cops. Transparency is essential. And he said he wants to end the politicization, I can't say that word, and weaponization of the FBI. It's been politicized and it's been weaponized, as we know, over the last administration, like big time, awful, criminal levels, in my opinion. But he said he's going to end that. He's not interested in doing that. I'm glad to hear that. I mean, restore the FBI, restore trust in it if he can. I hope he can. He's probably going to have to do a lot of cleaning out. He said he's going to go back to trying to catch catch bad guys no matter where they are on the earth. Not waste taxpayer money on going after Granny, who was holding an American flag on January 6th. A few years ago, for a while they were flagging and talking and following people who simply flew in to Washington, D.C. on that day, on that January 6th day. Had nothing to do with the protests or nothing like that. Didn't even go down to the Capitol. They simply flew in on an airplane on that day into D.C., following people and then questioning them. Now think about that. That's just one example. So anyway, I feel good about that. One thing about all these new folks coming in and all these agencies we got, sounds like the right people in these positions. My concern, and the same with Doge and all the savings, all the fraud and waste and all that and criminal activity they're finding is, I think that's all awesome. I think it will lose its luster unless some people are going to get arrested. That might take some time, but now that they've got the key pieces in place, FBI, Attorney General, CIA, all these agencies, no excuse why they couldn't. I'm not saying go after everybody and all these little things and find me the man, find me the crime. No. Just like Kash Patel said, don't politicize it, don't weaponize it, but go after the bad guys. There's plenty of it. We know this. Unless we start seeing some people perp walked prosecuted. All this stuff it's kind of empty. I mean, I know it's great to have the savings, and I hope like all the stuff that Doge is finding will have a benefit to us, like lessen our taxes at least. But if inflation just keeps going up and taxes keep going up and there's no change in the burden on the hard-working tax-paying American, then okay, what gives, right? That's just my thoughts right now. And if you've bought things, property, you're paying taxes. I'm including all of you. If you're on Social Security, you're included too, of course. You should benefit from all this stuff. You've paid taxes. Ms. Dawg and I were talking about this last night. We've been working and paying taxes since 1982. Think about how many years they've been messing you over, taxing you into oblivion, robbing you blind. You surely want to benefit, don't you? I mean, come on. Think for yourself, please. I didn't do a video yesterday. I had to take a step back after that last one. After that last video in the comments, I'm not saying all, some of the comments. I know, I shouldn't let it get to me. I usually don't let it. I don't know why I did this time. But think for yourself. Think critically. And I know there's a lot of talking heads out there. I guess I'm one of them now, I guess I got a little channel. I'm little, very small peanuts compared to a lot of especially the right-leaning, the conservative podcast, your YouTubers, your main media even, the shows and all these. Most of it's good, and I agree with most of it, not all of it. There's some things that I'm like, what? So question things, question people, question what you're hearing about it, especially in the main media. And even on a lot of these shows, a lot of these channels. Take it for what it's worth, but think about it critically. Everybody's situation is a little different. Does it apply to you all the way through, right? I mean, just question motives. Don't rely totally. Don't let them dictate what you think. Okay? Think for yourself. Think critically. That's the main thing. All right? All right. It's getting warm. I got to start up the vehicle. But anyway, the next thing is, I thought I was going to mention this. I made a note on this, and then I'm going to get into the real thing. Vance, it's nice to have a vice president who is in the game, who's not just on the sidelines and invisible. He's not invisible. When he was talking to CPAC, I think, or something like, he's doing a lot of speeches. It's great. He makes sense. The fundamental goal of Trump is to restoring safety and prosperity to the American people. I believe they want to do that. I really believe they want to do that. He said, it is easy, unfortunately, to burn the house down. It takes a little more time to build that house back up. So it's going to take time. People are not going to have patience with this. Okay. He says, neither the United States or Europe can rebuild while letting millions of unvetted illegal migrants in. This has to stop. I totally agree with that. Europe is in big time trouble, particularly worried about Germany. I have relatives in Germany. I'm half German. I talk with them from time to time. They're in trouble. They're very worried. If something doesn't change there, similar to the way it has here, a restoring of common sense, at least temporarily, dang. If something doesn't happen quickly there, they will totally lose their culture. It's happening already. If you have no borders, if you have no common sense, And about that, immigration, at least vet these people before you let them in your place. Anyway, that's just stood out to me. The last administration just about burned the house down. They just about burnt it all the way down to the ground, and it still may collapse, y'all. It still might collapse. We have got to keep prepared, all right? Because it could happen. Talking about going into Fort Knox now. Trump said he's going to go in there. Do you really believe that if there's no gold there, they will actually tell us that? I don't think so. I can't imagine them going in, actually finding out they really don't have gold there, and actually broadcasting and telling everybody that. I just don't see it. I'm sorry. I'm more skeptical of that. Can you imagine what would happen if they actually have no gold in there? And I believe there's a high probability there is no gold. Somebody made a comment a couple of videos ago. It was an awesome comment. He said, he or she, I can't remember, said that the only gold in there is chocolate bars wrapped in gold wrapping. That's awesome. That was an awesome comment. You might be right. You might be right there. But can you imagine if that's the case? And it very well could be. But we must keep preparing. We must keep on top of paying down any kind of debt we can, getting ourselves in a position to where we can try to weather whatever's coming the best we can, okay, in all aspects. Before I forget and don't let it go, the other person that I believe the pucker factor is really a thing with some really big name people is Pam Bondi, the Attorney General. She says that she plans to release a lot of documents from deceased, especially regarding the deceased sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Can you imagine? There's some people trembling right now, and they should be. I want to know. I want to see that. I want to see that probably as much as any of these documents, whatever, about all these other things. I want to see who's on that list. Who's been flying down there or what's flying down there all the time? What happened to these poor kids? I cannot imagine. We probably won't hear the half of it, to tell you the truth. But between her, Kash Patel, some of these others they got in there, Hegseth, I mean, what a difference from the last time Trump was in office. He surrounded himself with some real idiots. I feel so much better. And now these people have flaws, I know. Even Musk, I know. But what a difference. I mean, these people actually seem like, they're really doing it for the right reasons too. At least it seems that way to me right now. For the most part. Really. I mean, think about it. Also saw Mitch McConnell announced that he was going to leave the Senate. He will not seek re-election. Well, no kidding, man. Can you just leave now? Can you just go now? Anyway, but the main thing is, and I saw another interview, I wanted to mention Vance, kind of similar to what Vance said about the house being burned down. They're going to try to build the house back up. It's going to take time. Also, I saw where when Trump and Musk were talking, I think they were being interviewed, I think maybe by, I forget who it was, one of the Fox News guys. But anyway, Hannity, I believe. But they said, and Musk said, the main reason we're so aggressive right now and doing this as quickly as possible is urgent. As far as trying to uncover all this waste, uncover all this corruption, is the country will go bankrupt. It will. Musk was the one saying this, sitting beside Trump. He said, we're on the path. This country will go absolutely bankrupt and collapse if we don't continue to do this and do it quickly. And it was an urgency in the way he said it. And Musk, and when he said that, Trump was nodding like, yeah, it's very, very serious what we are finding. And you could tell on their faces, this is super serious. And I believe that's one reason we're seeing things happen so fast. So for that reason, that makes me feel like we need to really take that serious and be serious about keeping up our preps like no other time, okay? Keep some cash on hand. Keep some cash on hand. Keep your gas tanks full. Keep your preps on your food, your water, your supplies, your medical, your self-defense, the things that go into self-defense, tools, practice, all that stuff. With everything that's going on, it's kind of easy to kind of let that stuff slide, right? Take a look at your preps periodically. Take an inventory. Take another inventory. Look at the holes. Refill them. 2 is 1. 1 is none. Think about that. But I believe that's what we need to focus on. Another reason, I heard somebody say this, and I kind of agree with it. Ever since Trump took office, even before it, there's so much that they're throwing out. There's so much that they're throwing against the wall, and they're really moving at lightning speed, that it doesn't give the main media, especially the old main legacy media, it doesn't really give them time to rebound. It's like they're hit with so much stuff that, you know, in 8 hours, 4 hours, something else is coming. They can't really focus, especially the nefarious forces. You know, they can't focus long enough to really get to do a counter punch or a counter attack to when something else is coming. It's like a blitzkrieg, and I think that's part of a strategy. And I hadn't thought about it that way, but that might be true too. I don't know. What do y'all think? It's kind of genius if you think about it. I don't know. Anyway, this is all interesting stuff. But the bottom line, if we have we could have a true depression. I think if you took away the credit cards, we would have been in a depression. We could still see it. We could still see it collapse, in my opinion. I pray not. And they would blame Trump. It wouldn't be his fault. He's trying to save it. It's been in the process of burning down for the last 4 years. All right, and he's trying to put out the fire. He's trying to revive it and put it out before it's totally collapsed and you just have ashes. That's kind of how I look at this. We just might save it. Just might save it. He's just one guy though. And he has many flaws too. He's human. We're all human. But let's keep preparing. I'm going to go to a passage, but yeah. Our true Savior is Jesus, not a human. But the Lord uses humans, good and sometimes bad, to further the kingdom. He does. All right, I'm going to go into John chapter 16, verse 32 and 33. From the words of Jesus. Behold, an hour is coming and has already come for you to be scattered, each to his own home, and to leave me alone, and yet I am not alone, because the Father is with me. These things I have spoken to you, so that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have tribulation, but take courage, I have overcome the world. Take courage. I have overcome the world. He overcame. He took it for us. Made the sacrifice so that we may have everlasting life and be redeemed. Our true Savior, he is. Not a human. Not a current human. No. Not anybody walking this earth right now. But our Lord came here as one of us in the flesh. A ransom for us. Keep it in mind. It's a powerful passage, y'all. Think about it. Thank God. All right. Share your thoughts. And let's stay prepared out there. We're going into a weekend. It's Friday. All kind of stuff can happen. Be safe. Be careful when you're going out there. You know, keep aware. Stay close to Jesus. God bless you. I will see you soon.